Production support for In Focus provided by Easel. Your favorite images on canvas, more beautiful and affordable than ever before. Easel.com.
Welcome to In Focus with Eden Lane.
It's back to school season, so later tonight we'll visit Hope Online Learning Academy to see how they're integrating arts education into their program. But first we'll catch up with the winners of the bhabhiji Awards, just after they returned from the national competition.
Well, it's unlike any other theater experience I've ever really had.
It's like this wide-eyed, dream for them to come here.
Coming to New York and being in Times Square and getting to perform on a Broadway stage, going to a Broadway show and meeting Broadway actors is just amazing.
Kind of like a week-long super duper boot camp.
On Monday night at the men's golf, it all comes together. They'd go through vocal coaching and choreography with actors and actresses that are on Broadway.
I had the privilege of working with 11 of the most talented young people I've seen in a long time. I often tell them, everybody can sing great now, so what are you going to do that really is special? How are you going to bring who you are in a special way to this song?
Looking at the text, looking at what is your action, what is your objective. I'm treating songs as monologue.
To work with some of these people and to hear from Stephen Schwartz and to have the people in the audience that will see them perform. And most importantly, they have the opportunity to meet other students that are just like them. And they don't feel so alone, they feel encouraged and they feel affirmed. 3 amazing things to give people at this stage of their life.
Programs like these are helping arts education across America in huge ways. They're also helping Broadway in huge ways because they're fostering the future generations of Broadway performers, artists, writers, directors.
It means a lot. It gives me confidence. I see my dream as well as other people because I'm here. People are believing in me.
You see the spark of excitement and you see the joy that comes from these kids, and it reminds you why you got involved in theater in the first place.
It's crazy to me that on Monday night their show is on the stage of the men's golf. That's banana pants.
I don't know. I might cry, honestly. I might start crying.
How many kids our age get the opportunity to do that?
Now we catch up with Abby Noble, Connor Kingsley, and Randy Weeks.
Well, welcome home.
Thank you.
And welcome back, because I know you went along. You spent the day with them on the 4th after they got back, because you sang the national anthem again.
Yep. Yes, we did.
Beautifully, by the way. Beautifully.
Thank you.
So that was even bigger than the first time that you did it before you left.
Yes,
but
much
you were,
bigger.
But you're Broadway veterans now.
Yeah, it wasn't as big as it to you.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
So I was trying to follow along while you were there for that week of hard work on Broadway. That week of hard work on Broadway. Doesn't that feel good?
Yes, that's so cool.
And some of your posts were so cute. And my favorite, of course, was about pizza. So tell me about the first day. You arrive and you're out of the airplane and you walk into your hotel, and what?
Oh man, we actually stayed at the NYU dorm, so that was in and of itself an experience. So we walk in, and I was really nervous. I saw a lot of the kids there, but I was kind of too shy to introduce myself at first. And then I went up to the room, put my stuff up, and I was like, okay, it's time to meet all these cool people.
Yeah. And how about you? What was it like when you saw all of those your peers there from everywhere else?
Well, mine was kind of scarier because I arrived pretty late, so everyone was already rehearsing when I got there.
Because you did something in between
Yeah,
when we met you.
I was at the Thespian Festival in Nebraska, so when I arrived there, everyone was already rehearsing and everything, so I had to kind of awkwardly fit in there, try and find out what everyone was doing. So I didn't really start making friends until the next day. Until we weren't working.
Did you get to spend any time together
Yeah.
while you were there?
Towards the end of the days.
Yeah.
Living in a dorm, what was that like for you? Because it's sort of a hint of what it might be like when you go away to college this fall.
Yeah, it was kind of scary. It's like, is this college, or are we in a competition, or what's going on? But it was cool. Got along with my roommate pretty well. He was nice. Yeah.
Where was he from?
He was from Kansas.
From Kansas?
Yeah. He was they were all so good that just no matter who you met, they were so talented. And my roommate was really talented. I thought he was going to win for a while. I was like, oh, okay.
Wow.
Yeah.
And how about your roommate?
My roommate was awesome. She was also from Kansas. They were both pair from Kansas. And so she was great. She would just talk to me, and then when she was tired, we'd both be like, okay, we don't need to talk to each other. We're both tired. Let's just go to sleep.
And so you set up this sort of Colorado-Kansas connection.
Yeah, it was great.
Randy, that's one of the things that's really unique about the National High School Musical Theater Competition Program, the Jimmies, is that they're getting training, but they're also networking in their state and when they go there. Tell me about, this is only the second year that you've had the bhabhijis here in Colorado. Right. Tell me about what that mission is. What's that idea? What are you trying to provide for the high school students that participate?
Well, and let me speak personally. I made the decision to join the national program. They had done about 4 years before we joined. But it was, I think it's really important for the kids that are participating, in the area that I have a great fondness for, and that would be the performing arts, to get some recognition. Yeah. I sort of tongue-in-cheek call it, we're trying to create the letter sweater for kids that are interested in theater and musical theater, because I don't think they get really the respect and attention that they should be getting in their high school amongst their own peers. So that's a component that always interested me. And at the same time, the program obviously is very successful nationally. It continues to grow. We've made a big decision going into our third year. The first 2 years we only adjudicated musicals in the spring.
Yes, I remember. Just the spring show.
Just the spring show, and with high school schedules that left some schools out. But going into the fall, we will be adjudicating in the fall and the spring, and we are also preparing ourselves with staff, and we will be able to accept applications from any high school in the state of Colorado.
So there's still time, even though you're starting in the fall, for them to join and be adjudicated for their fall show?
We really haven't even gone out with the information yet, but we are planning to be able to go statewide.
Do you have a sense of how many schools have already participated?
About 20 to 25. We grew by 6 or 7 schools the second year from the first year. And I think by adjudicating during the entire school year, I'm not exactly sure, maybe another 5 to 10.
And it still has been mostly the metro area.
Sure.
But now you're saying any high school in any of the 64 counties can participate.
Exactly. And we're putting together a network of people, professionals that can adjudicate. We can help them with their training. And hopefully we'll have people strategically placed around the state so they might be close enough. But if not, we will send people we will send adjudicators from Metro Denver to wherever the high school is.
I think the people who sign up to be adjudicators for this program, many of them would be willing to to go to just about any school if they could.
Yeah, it's great fun.
To help it out. Yeah. Now that you've been, what is it that your peers who are following behind you, what is it that they can look forward to if they get the chance to go to New York as a representative of Colorado and the bhabhiji Awards?
It definitely is the trip of a lifetime. Honestly, it completely changed how I view musical theater, and it gave me hope, and it really did instill in me this passion and this drive to go forward and to keep on working because it's possible. So that was great.
Yeah, the experience was something that you don't get in any high school theater program. So the experience of seeing how people work outside of your high school.
Because you're working with Broadway professionals.
Yeah, it's very eye-opening. It was an experience that I definitely appreciate.
Yeah.
I would do it again.
Now, you said it changed your perception of the work that you're doing in high school musical theater. In what way?
I actually had Andrea Burns, I don't know if she was my vocal coach, and she talked to me, and I was doing a lot of the glitzy jazz hands, thinking, oh, this is musical theater. And she just straight up said it. She was like, you never ever do that again. And so she really just made it more of an emotional connection to the piece I'm singing. And they talked a lot about being yourself in the piece. So it was great. And I love musical theater even more.
Yeah. What was the schedule like for you while you were there?
Oh, every day we were always working. There was I think in the mornings we would work on the opening and closing pieces, so we'd like stage it, and then we'd have lunch, and then we would be coached for 5 hours on our solo pieces.
Were the solo pieces the ones that you won your award for here in Colorado?
We sent in separate ones that we had prepared earlier that we might have done at some earlier point of time.
So you didn't have to be Igor, and you didn't have to be
Gertrude McFuzz, yeah.
What did you choose to do?
I did Shy from Once Upon a Mattress.
And I did.
Somehow that doesn't really surprise me that you would pick a song like that.
It was great. It was so much fun.
And what did you choose to do?
I did Joanna from Sweeney Todd. So,
wow.
Yeah, I did something really different. I thought maybe that would give a balance.
What made you choose those pieces?
Because they both fit in my range, and I kind of look like the guy in a way. So
yeah. And for you, what made you switch it up?
It was in the range, and it's just a fun song. I really love the song, so I wanted to do it.
And you got to go see some theater while you were there too. Tell me about that.
We saw Kinky Boots.
Kinky Boots. Did you see Andy?
Yeah, we got to go backstage. Connor and I, we got to go backstage and take a picture with Andy Kelso, and we freaked out.
Nice guy.
Yeah.
Really nice.
What did you think of the show?
It was great.
It was a great show. Oh my gosh, I was tired, tried not to fall asleep, but that was such a good show. I couldn't fall asleep if I wanted to.
Had you seen a Broadway show on Broadway before?
I saw Wicked once many years ago, but this was amazing.
You're much closer in that theater with Kinky Boots than you are at the Gershwin, right?
Yeah.
So this is another thing that you're able to provide these students. It's not just the chance to go and get some additional training in case they choose to pursue this in their college career, but they're getting this cultural exposure that not every high school student has available to them. Tell me about that in terms of what the bhabhijis are trying to provide for Colorado high schools and high school students.
Well, we hope over time, Eden, that as the kids come back, and share their experiences and so forth, there'll be more learning and understanding. And though it can be a tough industry to be in, there is, I think you mentioned, there's hope. I mean, there are a lot of people working on Broadway, and if you're truly passionate about this career choice, there is a place for you.
There's a place for us.
Right.
As they say. The nice thing about high school musicals in general and this program that you've brought to Colorado with the bhabhijis is it isn't only for students who want to pursue a life in the theater. It's to make a well-rounded neighbor, a well-rounded citizen right here in Colorado. I so admire the work that all of you have done in creating the bhabhijis and bringing this competition to Colorado, and the work that you did to get to go and all of your peers putting on these great musicals in high school. I really appreciate taking the time to talk to me and sharing a little bit about what happened to you in New York. Thanks so much.
Thank you.
There's still time for high schools in Colorado to sign up to participate in the bhabhiji Awards. Here's a quick look.
A night that's all about theater and theater artistry.
It's just unbelievable having seen so many shows up here and idolize the people on this stage.
It's kind of like Tony's for the high schoolers.
I know how passionate we are about our arts.
The recipients of the bhabhiji Awards for Outstanding Performance by an actor and actress in a leading role will represent Colorado at the National High School Musical Theater Awards in New York City.
And this year's bhabhiji Award goes to Abby Noble.
I just can't express how grateful I am to be in such a wonderful place full of wonderful people.
Connor Kingsley as Igor.
Thank you so much. This means so much to me.
I've always dreamed of going to New York, and to think that it's actually going to happen is just crazy to me.
To get details, you can email bhabhijiawards@dcpa.org. Now we learn about the arts education programs at Hope Online Learning Academy.
Yeah. I'm fascinated by this project that you have, not only as an alternative education program for students, but that you're making arts such a priority in this program. Tell me about the program in general, and then we'll get to the arts component.
So Hope Online Learning Academy is an online charter school, and we partner with the Douglas County School District. But the key to our partnership is our kids physically attend brick and mortar locations following the hours of a normal school day, and they attend locations that are operated by community-based nonprofits who are our partners.
So they're not homeschooled in the same way that we think of online learning academies. They actually go and spend time with an instructor and with other students.
Yes, because traditional online schools, kids work at home 100% of the time. At Hope, our students go to learning centers 100% of the time, and that's because we really believe that in our model that kids need to be supported, because many parents have to work or they're really not the best person to provide the educational support that their students need. I know as a parent, I'm probably not the best person to help my child even with their homework some days.
I was going to say, sometimes helping with algebra is really the most challenging.
For all of us, means that I need to learn it too. So the concept behind Hope is to create that partnership with the community, but Hope has always embraced the whole child from the beginning and really focused on how do we offer extracurricular activities or electives that really embrace how a child learns and what they're interested in, because if we can tackle their interests that are extracurricular, we can get them involved in learning. So we're so excited about the partnership with Hope Online Academy of the Arts because of that focus on arts and music.
What are the other kinds of extracurriculars that you offer at Hope Academy?
We offer sports, we offer volleyball, we offer basketball, we have soccer, we have ping pong. We did flag football this year, we have cross country, we have track, we have science fair, we do persuasive argument, we did a mock trial. We really identify and develop our activities based on the feedback that we have from our students.
Arts education, and music education in particular, but arts education in general, is so underestimated in terms of its ability to impact a student's success in all of the core subjects. So your partnership acknowledges that. How did that begin for you?
Initially, our partnership with arts began with Arts Across Cultures. And the partnership was, how do we involve dancing and arts and music? And initially, this is our 5th year in a partnership with Arts Across Cultures. Originally, it was just dancing across cultures. And it was a way to introduce dance and music to students that didn't have the ability to take dance classes. They'd never been involved in any kind of formal dance instruction. And what we noticed immediately is that their grades improved so they could participate. And the information that they had, and even how they learned math and how they'd learned to tap and use rhythm to improve their math skills, was critical. So that began our partnership, and really it was one of our dreams to how do we focus and really have an academy that's focused on arts and music and not just as an extracurricular program. So when Yumi approached us and really brought us this opportunity and how we could
include this kind of music program.
Include music and really something that involved every single day with the expertise developed at my music school, we were just so excited that we could continue to offer that to our students.
Now that part of the program is new, so let's start with the arts in general. Tell me about that.
So Arts Across Cultures, as Heather mentioned, was started 5 years ago as a dance program. I was asked to come into Hope Online to instruct the kids in dance, and my first learning center that I worked in was Hillcrest Academy, which is probably about 95% African American, the student body. I worked for as a professional dancer in Mexico for many years, so my expertise is in the traditional folk dance of Mexico. So I was quite challenged when I thought, wow, these kids are African American, so how am I going to instruct them? We can talk about ballet, contemporary movement, but really give them something that they can identify with who they are as African Americans. So what we did was we researched the African history in Mexico, and that's really how Arts Across Cultures, the name of the program, Dancing Across Cultures, was born, when we really were able to identify so many similarities from one culture to another. And in this country, and in Colorado, as the face of our communities change and are more colorful every day, it's really important to find those connections.
More colorful and richer every
absolutely,
day. Really?
Absolutely. No, it's so exciting, even within the communities of hope, to see families from Somalia, families from Asia, families not only from Mexico but from Central and South America really becoming part of our community, and not only through the arts but through the other activities at Hope, really just finding those connections, finding those threads to
So you're not just teaching the arts, you're creating community within that academy.
Absolutely, and celebrating ethnicity and culture and where we come from and how.
So it started with dance. What came next?
So by the third year, we were actually funded through Douglas County to create Arts Across Cultures, and now we offer not only dance but music, visual arts, media arts to the kids twice a week for the entire school year. And we've been able to develop an incredible relationship with the Denver Art Museum. And at the end of the year, the kids participate in Children's Day, and they actually put on their own production of music, dance, visual arts, animation, a huge community performance that's open, free to the public for their families, and many other communities across the city. So it's been a great way to get the kids excited about the arts. Is the big event at the end of the year.
And about school.
Absolutely, and what you'll find, as Heather mentioned, in the learning centers where we've implemented Arts Across Cultures, is the kids are excited to come to school. They are excited to make sure they finish their work in math or their core academic subjects, because if they don't, then they can't go to Arts Across Cultures. So
and they have to achieve a certain grade point or
yes.
a certain level.
Yes, they have a certain grade point average to participate in any activities.
Your already established music school, My Music School, is becoming part of one of these learning centers for Hope Academy. So your business here was already established. What kinds of things had you already been offering at My Music School before you joined this program?
As you know, a lot of public schools and even private schools are dropping music and arts programs from their curriculum. We actually believe that it is very important for the overall development of the child that, you know, music and arts help them a lot, not just with grades, but just emotional, just so many different ways. And just with the trend of everybody just dropping these, we wanted to actually go ahead and go backwards and actually make sure that these schools actually have music programs, and the children can benefit all the the benefits that the music can give and then the arts can give. So we actually do go into private schools and local charter schools or any other schools that don't have the music program. We teach music there either before and after or even during schools.
The kinds of experiences that these students from Hope Academy will have when they come to this learning center are very similar to the kinds of experiences private students might have.
It is. In addition, though, it's because we will also have a general music curriculum. So these kids will have, even though they've never been exposed to music, they'll actually have general curriculum. They will go ahead and build the foundation. That's what we're actually starting from kindergarten through 5th grade.
What does that mean when you say general curriculum for music?
So we'll go ahead and teach all the basics. So it's not just any specific instruments, it's not any specific genres of music that we're going to be teaching, but we're going to be also teaching them really from the basics, how music is built, what the rhythm is, and how to really make it, and then really make it personal for the kids, you know, to the type of music they listen to or any type of music they have already been exposed to. But again, to new instruments and new cultures and new type of music, we'll be able to expose the kids so they actually get a lot more broader sense of kind of appreciation for music.
And those are the kinds of things that impact the students' performance in core curriculum as well.
Exactly, and I think, again, as we talked about, if we can get students excited about what they're learning and learn different ways and take advantage of their different senses, they'll learn about general music curriculum, specific music curriculum, but also their core curriculum, and how do they integrate what they've learned about music into their math or into their literature and the language arts that they're reading. How can they understand poetry and how that impacts music?
So do you have a sense of the performance of your students in the 5 years that you've offered this as part of your program?
We know that the students that have participated in Arts Across Cultures, or really a lot of our extracurricular activities, their achievement is higher, their retention is higher, their attendance is higher, and most importantly, their affiliation and their ability to give back to the community is greater. And I think that's our job as a school, is to teach that whole child, but also teach them how they need to serve their community and give back and understand and acknowledge their culture.
So how is Hope Academy able to do this with the same budget per student that public schools aren't able to do?
I think it's really what our focus is. Hope as an online school actually is funded less per student than a traditional public school. But it's really where we put our priorities. And it's something that we believe is important. We've seen support from parents and really from community members who are really giving back and are doing this they're doing this because this is what they believe in. And those community partnerships are critical.
They believe in this in general, they believe in this as part of the community and for their students.
Probably yes to all three. So I think Janelle, as the director of Arts Across Culture, believes that Arts Across Culture and integrating all aspects of the arts is important for our students to learn and excel. And that's her way of giving back to the community. So we're able to work with her at a rate that's probably a lot less than she'd work with probably a private student
or a public school.
And really in developing that partnership, we have some flexibility. We have the support of Douglas County on focusing on that whole child. And that's what we believe is important, and I think that's where we have to put our money.
You can find more details at hopeonline.org.
Remember to join us on Facebook and Twitter. Thanks for watching. Good night.